JT Show.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Smash JT Show, my weekly episodic adventure discussing divisive issues in the video game industry and beyond sometimes. It airs every Friday, and like always, if you enjoy what I'm doing here and you haven't done so already, smash that subscribe, hit the like, and let's just jump right into it. For this week, we're going to be talking about crowdfunding, and this conversation is way overdue because I've wanted to try my best at tackling the divisiveness of this issue with you guys to find out where people stand and why. Where I stand on crowdfunding is pretty simple. If people want to do it, do it. And if people want to participate in it, participate. It's pretty straightforward. Now, there is a few times where gray areas come into play, like scammy companies that are doing these things just to steal money, to fool people, pulling the wool over their eyes, not really having the intention of delivering on their promise, or not necessarily being fully transparent on what it is they're creating. Kickstarter isn't as bad as things like Indiegogo when it comes to scammy things, but it's still something people need to keep an eye out for to ensure that they don't get screwed backing a project. Sometimes it doesn't come to fruition. That's completely out of the control of the creators. Sometimes the money gets refunded. Sometimes it doesn't. There's a lot of times where gray area does come into play, like I said, but if you do your due diligence, if you do your research, if you know the people who are creating something, or better yet, the device that they're talking about seems legitimate enough and you can see it coming to fruition, back it. That's something that it would not happen if you did not do this. If people didn't join together to crowdfund things, a lot of these items would not be created in the first place. It's actually a very cool thing this day and age that we're able to do this with the technology of the internet. And this is coming from someone who is very unbiased when it comes to this because I have never had a Kickstarter. I've never had Indiegogo. At this point in time, I have zero intention of ever doing one of those. But it's really come to the forefront of my mind lately because the Game Chasers are making a movie and they've begun a Kickstarter campaign to get it funded. This is in addition to contributing their own funds to making the movie. If anybody out there is familiar with how much it costs to make a full-length, full-feature professional movie this day and age, it's fairly expensive. And they're looking for around $90,000 or $100,000 to get this funded, which to me is completely fair. If somebody wants to back that and fund them for their goal and their dream of making this full-length feature film, do it. Why not? What is the problem with this? I've seen a lot of people come in saying that these guys are e-beggars, that they shouldn't be asking their fans to give them money and things like that. But again, it comes down to if you want it to be done, do it. And if you don't, don't. I don't understand all these people imposing their will on other people outside of just pure jealousy. Now this comes back to another issue too, because I would even say with Pat the NES Punk and people backing him with his book. Good! I'm happy that he was successful with that. Just because I've had my run-ins with him on YouTube doesn't mean I don't want to see him be successful when he's furthering the retro gaming community, when he's making a really cool book about it. Good for him. This is what I'm talking about with Kickstarter campaigns. If people are getting it crowdfunded, if people are donating money to it, what is the issue with that? Outside of the jealousy and not being successful yourself, why would you impose your will on somebody else who wants to see something come to fruition? Jay Hunter from the Game Chasers made a very good point on his Facebook page saying, making a movie isn't cheap. When a YouTuber does a Kickstarter to raise funds, we are e-beggars. If PBS does fundraising, no one bats an eye. If Broken Lizard does a Kickstarter for Super Troopers 2, no one bats an eye. If you think we aren't using our own money as well, then I find that kind of ignorant. I've been selling parts of my collection since last June to help me and Billy Chaser achieve a dream. That's how much this movie means to us. Thank you all for your support. Hopefully we can meet your standards and not disappoint with this movie. That's an excellent point that he brings up, the double standard that people have in their mind of why it's okay for one person in one area of media to ask for money. But when it comes to YouTubers, it's completely taboo. Maybe it's because the technology is so new that people are afraid of supporting it, or they don't feel like being a YouTuber is a real job that people need to go out there and, I don't know, lay bricks or build houses or dig ditches. as a real job, because YouTubing is not apparently, because it's new or because you just talk to a camera. My way of looking at YouTube is if you're able to entertain someone, if you provide a service to them, it's no different than watching the evening news on TV or watching a comedy movie. It's a different way of getting this information to your eyeballs, but it's still the same thing at the end of the day, except you're not paying for a gigantic production company, all this advertising behind the scenes. You're just kind of a guy with a camera in your garage sometimes, and certain people out there don't want to see YouTubers be successful because it throws a middle finger to the industry that's been established? Maybe? I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, this all confuses the hell out of me. When people started coming at e-beggars and saying that's bad and Patreon is bad, which, like I said, I'll get to Patreon in another one of these videos eventually. That's a whole nother topic, but my feelings are very similar with that as well. So foreshadowing with that, if someone wants to support you on Patreon, let them support you on Patreon. I don't understand why it's not okay for that. But like I said, that's a whole other topic for another day. Anyways, that's where I'm going to leave that topic as far as crowdfunding is concerned, but I'd be very interested as to where you stand on this. Are you okay with crowdfunding? Are you not? Are there certain instances that would make you give money to a certain event or product that's being made, whereas something else wouldn't? Let me know in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going down there. As far as this week's smashing video of the week, I gotta talk about 8-Bit Brody, who may be the most underrated channel on YouTube. This dude puts in so much work on his videos, it is a crime that he doesn't get more attention. His latest video trying to double his subscribers in 3 days doesn't really end up successful, but it does expose a lot of issues with YouTube and smaller channels, even though he's got a lot of big channels on his side. Happy Console Gamer, Alpha Omega Sin, John Riggs, all make a cameo in his video. It's excellent. It shows a lot of things that could use improvement on YouTube, and honestly, if you don't know about him, check him out and subscribe. Let him know I sent you over there.
There's no secrets.
Right.
Matt, I wish there was. I wish there was a magic subscriber button, but that doesn't exist.
Well, I mean, there is a subscriber button, but it's not really.
But
it's not too magical.
Yeah, but I can't magically make people hit it.
Right.
Neither can you. And you know the amazing thing is, I've been on YouTube for 10 years, and some people recently subscribe, and they say, "I've never seen your show before," and I'm like, "I've been on YouTube for 10 years."
Mm-hmm.
So it just goes to show that there's so many people who are out there that just haven't seen your show yet.
Yeah.
It's not that they dislike you, they just haven't seen it.
And that's where I'm going to leave this week's episode. Again, I want to say a special thank you to all the Patreons listed next to me here. It truly means the world that you support with a monthly pledge. If anybody else out there is interested in joining them for as little as $1 per month, I'll put the link to my Patreon right there. And if you still haven't subscribed yet and you enjoy what I'm doing here, smash that subscribe button. And if you missed last week's episode, I'll put it right here. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.